Finally got the garage concrete slab poured. We've been waiting for some warm weather and it finally happened. We got it done yesterday and I couldn't get any footage of it because I was helping wheelbarrow the concrete and there's people here and it's been tough to do. But in this video, I'm going to show you what not to do when you pour a concrete slab. This job was successful, but it could have been better. And what I'm going to do first is go ahead and remove those form boards off the front of the concrete. The earlier you do it, the better. The more the concrete sets up, the harder it is to get those off. So let's do that. Some tools I got is my impact wrench with a 5/16 impact socket on it. And then I just got a simple hammer. And this hammer is the key to getting these concrete form boards off.
Oh, here we go. On to the next side.
So now that we got our tap cons out of the form board, using our handy dandy impact wrench, we're going to take our hammer, get under the board and just give it a nice pull. And if you look here, we got some concrete that spilled over the edge, which is going to make it a little more challenging. It's probably kind of wedged in there now because of that.
But that's construction for you. Oh yeah, definitely tight.
Just keep prying that off out of the ground here. The more you get going, the easier it's going to be. Whew, there it is. Form board is removed. It's always a good feeling. Get these off there. Whew, little muddy mess out here today. Oh, looks like we got some nice concrete we'll have to bust up at some point because this is going to be in the way later. Let's go remove that next one now. Times like this is when an impact driver is just so much better than using a drill as a driver because it just has so much more torque on it. You don't have to fight with the bolts to get them out. Just hold a little pressure there. And they typically come right out on the first try. And you can keep reusing these tap cons. I've probably used these tap cons that's in my hand probably at least 5 times by now, just on this job. So always hold on to your tap cons. You can reuse them over and over again. Let's pull this board off now. See, that came off way easier without all that concrete in the front of it. So after you take your form board off, as you can see, we got a nice little smooth finish there. Sometimes it doesn't come out that smooth, sometimes a little rough at the bottom, but if your concrete's wet enough, it'll give you a nice smooth finish like that. And look at this other side here, it looks pretty good as well. As you can see, it has a little drier there, so it didn't have that smooth finish. And it was a little drier right here when they poured it. And if you can see all this concrete, we're going to bust this out of there with a sledgehammer now and get it out of there before we pour the driveway. And if you take a look here, that's the slab. If you look, there's a little bit of moisture after it cured laying there, but oh no, it turned out really nice. Like I said, I didn't finish this. I hired out the finishing, but I did help wheelbarrow it in. And only had to wheelbarrow this back side because this front, you clearly could back your truck right up to it and get it done that way. So yeah, so far it looks really good. So how much did it cost to have a concrete slab in this garage? So I had $2,000 in concrete. Like I said, it was 11 yards and I actually had to get some calcium because it was cold. So you want to make sure you order some calcium if you're pouring in a colder climate. I think some super cold climates call for antifreeze, but it's not that cold where I live. And so it cost $2,000 just for the raw material to have this slab done. And I didn't have to pay any extra to form it up, anything like that, because I did that work. And then I paid a concrete finisher $600 to finish the concrete here. So if you're thinking, by the time it's said and done, how much is it? Well, if you do your own work, that's the key, doing your own work, it's going to cost you for a 24 by 24 garage about, I'm actually going to say $3,000 by the time it's said and done because there's a lot of gravel and stuff like that that you need to put down before you pour your slab. So $2,500, $3,000 for a 24 by 24 garage at 11 yards. And another thing I wanted to say, you're probably like,
Hey, you're the excellent laborer. I thought you did all your own work. I thought you didn't want to hire anybody to do anything.
But in this case, I'm telling you, a concrete finisher is worth every penny. And the reason why is they have their own equipment. You'd have to buy all the equipment, store it, and all this. And for $600 or so, you know, I only need them about once, twice a year. Well, probably twice a year because I do a garage and driveway. And in this case, I had a gym I had to pour. But so by the time you do all that, you might as well hire it out, and it's a skill. So anything that's highly skilled is something you're going to want to hire out if you're building your own house, for the simple fact you can practice and practice and practice. By the time you're on to the next project, you're going to lose that touch, just like drywall. So things like that I hire out because you're way better off in the long run to hire out that highly skilled type of work and stuff that requires a lot of equipment, and especially excavating. That's another one. Hire that out. Don't buy a backhoe and dig your own footers and all this stuff. And I know what you're thinking. Hey, if you did it all the time, it'd be worth it. But yeah, I mean, if I only do a house a year, so I don't really think it'd be worth it. But maybe, I don't know, a little Bobcat, maybe in the future. But that is my story with that. And if you look behind me, the concrete slab turned out very nice. I'm very happy with it. Don't be surprised you get a little hair crack in your concrete at some point. It's just the nature of the beast. It's just something you really can't avoid. You can do all you want to try to avoid it, but concrete still cracks at some point. But you can definitely do things to alleviate a lot of the cracking. So as I mentioned earlier, this job didn't go great. Well, if you look here, what I'm standing on right now, this is part of the reason why the job didn't go the best it could have went. And you're thinking like, whoa, what's all this concrete doing here? There's no finished concrete top. What the heck happened? So when I figured up the concrete in the garage, I figured up 10.5 yards, 24 by 24 garage with about 5 inches of concrete or so. I can't remember exactly now. So those of you going out there doing all the math and saying,
Hey, in the comments, that's totally not the right yardage.
but I'm just telling you what's off the top of my head, okay? So what I did, I ordered 11 yards, and as you can see here, you can't really tell, but there's actually about 8 inches of concrete in the back side of this, and it came out to about 4 inches of concrete, and then it stopped. Because there's so much extra concrete, I had to expel it somewhere, and right here in this porch ended up being the spot. And you can see here, it's not finished at all. It's nice and rough. It would be good. This wouldn't even be good inside of a barn, really. I mean, it's just poured in here, and I had the finisher come in, just kind of rake it out, smooth it a little bit away from the house. And when they poured it in here, it splattered all over the side of the house. It was just something that I didn't intend for it to happen, but it happened. It's construction, man. It happens. But you know, it could have been worse. Could have had short concrete load and then had to stop and square off and finish a piece in the garage, then come back later to finish it, and that would have been way worse. So this was probably just about a $150 mistake. It's probably only, I don't know, a yard sitting here. It's hard to really tell, but I think I got about a yard extra. So when you figure up your concrete, there's a couple ways of doing it, but the best way, I'll put a link in the description below if you want to check it out, is I just use that link. It takes you over to a website and just put in dimensions, how thick you want it, and it calculates exactly how many yards you need. Let's take a look at this concrete. And just so you're aware, just to make this very clear, this is not going to be the finished porch. The finished porch, as I'm going to put 2x10s going across over here, I got to put a pressure treated plate on this yet, and that's actually going to be just a Trex deck when it's all said and done. This was just a great place to put a bunch of extra concrete because I didn't know where else to put it, because you don't want to put it down here in your yard because that still needs graded and everything. That's going to be in the way. We're already backfilled, don't want to put it back there. So really, right here was a good spot to expel it. And over here, like I said, this is where the concrete stopped, and it's just a big, nasty pour of concrete. So some tips in the future for when you're going to do your concrete. Number one, figure up your concrete. Number two, figure up at least a half yard extra because you don't want to run out. That is the worst case scenario, and no one wants that. So try to be pretty accurate with your measurements, but don't order too much where you have a whole yard left over, kind of like I did here. That's a big no-no. We don't like wasting money. Money's expensive and hard to get. And so that'd be my second tip. The third tip would be if you have concrete left over, before the concrete arrives, go ahead and form up. If you're going to be pouring a simple slab for whatever reason, whether it's a patio whether it's a place to set your HVAC unit, whether it's for a little landing for steps. Go ahead and form that up so if you do have extra, you have a place to pour it. In fact, I didn't show you, but it's over at my dad's house. I actually took some of this concrete that was left over for this job, took it down to his job, and we filled in around a culvert, and we built a little slab to set his HVAC unit. So there's always somewhere you can use the extra concrete, but you could even have poured it inside the blocks around the front of this foundation if I really wanted to, but I actually didn't think about that because they're not filled in. It's only about 3 courses high right there. But anyways, that's all I wanted to show you, is give you an update of the concrete slab, the concrete pour job, what came out of it. And if you're new to this channel, my name's Josh. This channel is all about building your own house and saving a ton of money, like a lot. So be sure to subscribe, hit the bell so you get a notification every time I release a new video, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.